Hello, my name is Aaron Babcock. Welcome back to my channel. Please like and subscribe if you like these videos. I'm just sharing a lot of books of my library, about 200 patriotic American history books, and I'm into expanding people's choices of book reports, book reviews, and essays, and I really hope that people build their libraries at home. There's been a lot of critics of public schools. They're leaving a lot of books that are very important out, and there's a lot of revisionist history out there and edited, and you don't always get a complete education. So I'm just here to expand the number of books versus one or two. So anyway, we have Pocahontas and Sacagawea. That was a nice story of the 1600s. So this is a main history book that I have. The 500 nations of North America. There was a lot of Native Americans and just lots of tribes, and some were warlike. They were called savages a lot, and then there was the innocent people. And it's very important that you balance those two perspectives, that there was a lot of innocent people that just hunted and provided for their families, and they had their own culture. They had medical issues just like everybody else. They had food issues just like everybody else. A lot of the peace treaties were made because of this give and take. There was a dark side of history on territories and land grabs, and there's also a lot of positive history that happened as well. So it's important that when you bring up a negative thing that happened, no matter who it is, that you come up with 10 positives of the time period that happened at the exact same time. Otherwise, you'll go through your whole life with one bad event in your brain, depressed and upset and full of hate your whole life because of one event. And that is no way to live. We do not want to repeat those dark lessons of history, but we can't forget there was positive things that happened, because there are three groups of people. There's people that do good until the day they die. There's bad people that do bad things till the day they die. And there's the in-betweeners that got to figure out which one's path that they want to go on. Sometimes they're called the sometimers. Sometimes they're cowards. Sometimes they're warriors. But they have to figure out the good path versus the bad path. So I am not going to ignore those dark things that happened, but I'm also going to expand the positive events that you don't always hear about. I try to hunt for good stories in boring books, and even in the darkest books where there could be light, because the truth will set you free. All right, moving on. The Indian Art of the Americas. This is a really good book for all the artists. Native art is a really good book. And it's by Frederick Dockstader. And these books were written in, I believe, in the 73. You got the Choctaw people, the Chickasaw people, and Potawatomi people. There's Cherokees, Mohicans from New York. You have so many, 500 tribes out there. Chinooks, just lots of them. So you have this Indian law book I have that deals with the Federalist system and reservations and the rights of Indians and tribes, and it's a good book to have. This is a Time Life book that I showed you earlier about the Old West. This one's on Indians, and this one is the Wild West, the Native Americans, the indigenous peoples of North America. I don't like the term indigenous only because it broad brushes into politics, And I believe each person has an individual right, and I believe everyone is an individual with a variety of gifts and talents inside their individualism. Not to be egotistical, to lose the ego, but I think it's really important that it's okay to be called Native or Indian, or an American citizen with a Native or Indian background. And then you can go on to your heritage and your culture. But as an Americans, we want equal justice under the law and to be as equal as possible in getting along. And I just believe that indigenous makes people feel like they're primitive, and also that they're not evolving into a higher intellect. It makes people think that they're like still in a primitive part of their life. If I call you indigenous person, you could say it with a bad tone and to make you feel like you weren't coming up to today's technology. There's a lot of discrimination, I believe, that can happen with that word. I'm not going to say I ban it or anything, but I just don't want individualism taken out of a good person. If everyone's broad-brushed indigenous peoples and there was 99 bad people in that group and one awesome person, you're not going to even remember that good person. You see what I mean? So these broad brush terms really came later, these revisionist times, and just be careful with that word. They try to change history a lot using that word, just like they replace individual rights to social rights or human rights, getting rid of the individual right, because the Bill of Rights was all about your individual rights. So when it comes to law, it's very important that there's individual accountability of each person. And this group accountability isn't always the way to go. So I've said that, and I am done with that worded game. So when you investigate Native history, I hope you keep an open mind. Each person, each human is a great individual, and some were leaders. There was like Chief Seattle, there's Chief Joseph. So there's a lot of great leaders in the Native nations, and so it's a great study, and there are many, many, many books on the subject. But anyway, these are the ones I have, and it gives me a pretty good wide range of how they lived. All right, so I will talk to you later. I hope you like some of these books. Someday I can go over them in person with you, and we can have a good time. Talk to you later. My name is Aaron Babcock. Please like and subscribe if you like all these books in my library. Thank you very much.